Good morning friends, let's see what's important in Indian Express for UPSC exam.
First article highlights US ultimatum to Ukraine, accept peace deal by November 27 or we will cut Intel arms. This is important for international section. Now moving on to the next page. This article talks about 4 new labor codes which were recently notified by the government. This is important for governance section as well as for economy section. Now on the same page, this article talks about Tejas fighter jet which was recently crashed during air show in Dubai. This is important for defense section, and in this article you have to know about the basics of Tejas. Moving on to the next page. This article talks about COP30 climate meeting, where countries reject draft text as it skips roadmap on fossil fuel phase out. This is important for environment section. Now on page number 3, this article talks about Operation Cyberhawk. This is related to paper 3 cyber security section. Now Prime Minister of India reached South Africa for G20 summit and he stated that he would present one future vision. This is important for international section. Now on page number 7, this article states that CGI Gawai faced criticism from own community for creamy layer verdict. This is important for governance section. Now on page number 8, this article talks about India's first private PSLV, which is likely to launch in early 2026. This is important for paper 3 space section. Now on page number 9, this article talks about Andaman Nicobar Island project and GT recent order. This is important for economy as well as for environment section. Now on page number 10, this article talks about Supreme Court's recent observations on governor's powers. This is important for governance section. Next article talks about government's recent achievement. It is important for economy section. Again on page number 11, this article talks about 4 new labor codes which were recently notified by the government, and this is important for governance as well as economy section. Again on page number 13, this article talks about labor reforms. On the same page, this article talked about obscene content regulation which were recently notified by the government under IT Rules 2021. On the explained section, this article talks about India's agri-export performance. This is important for economy section. On the same page, this article talks about G20 summit, its relevance in present scenario amid US boycott. On the same page, this article talks about Comet 31 Atlas. This is important for space section. And on the same page, this article is related to Humboldt penguin and their population status. This is important for environment section.
That's all for now. Stay tuned for more updates.